Door kicked in? I have 2 videos on this. The first one is how to fix this. It's cheaper and faster, but sometimes you have no choice but to replace it. This video is how to replace it. Watch the one in the link below if you want to try to fix it first. Watch my exterior door replacement video if you need to replace the door. Let's get to it. This door has been temporarily screwed shut. Check it. It's not too bad. We can spackle the holes later. Note, get the correct door jamb. They sell interior jamb kits that does not have a door stop. It's just flat, and it's not as wide as an exterior jamb. An exterior jamb is shaped like this. It's wide. This part acts as a door stop and has a slot for the weather strip. The top notches indicate the right and left side. Measure and check your jamb to see what you're going to need. The first thing is to remove the door casing. Cut the caulk with a utility knife alongside it, sometimes in the front too. Remove the weather strip. It just pulls out. Look for any screw locations. It will look like this. If you don't see none, this could mean that the jamb was nailed in. If that's the case, remove the door casing, then use a sawzall to cut the nails from behind. Cut the caulking over here. Then use a hammer and chisel to remove it. Scrape off the old caulking. Remove the striker plate. Expose the screws. I like to clean out the screws so I can drill them out with no problem. Remove the screws. You could cut it from the back side. Do the same thing for the threshold if you have to remove it. Sometimes the threshold is nailed to the jamb at the bottom. If that's the case, use a multi-tool to cut the nails, and you shouldn't have to remove the threshold. If you do have to remove it, most of the time you can clean out the screws to unscrew them, but sometimes it doesn't work. If you come across this problem, you can remove the screws with a sawzall by getting the blade under the threshold to cut the screw. Or you can do this method here. Make sure you use an old chisel. Put your foot over the screw too, because it will shoot straight up at you. If you have to break the screws out like I did, you'll have to drill new holes next to the old ones. If you remove the screw by unscrewing it, a new screw might grip in the same hole with no problem. If it's not gripping, use a piece of wire to put in a hole. This will give the screw something to grip and you won't have to worry about it rotting out over time. Here's what it looks like under it. 8 out of 10, you won't have this. You'll just have concrete. For my situation, I have to replace this rotted piece of wood so I can have something to screw to hold the threshold down. I have to dig all of this out. Back to the jamb. With all the screws out, I can now pull the jamb away from the wall at the bottom. Let any shims fall or remove them. We're only replacing one side, so be careful not to damage the top part. The jamb should be nailed together. Make sure there are no shims up here towards the top. Then you can lightly tap on the jamb to expose the nails that needs to be cut. Use a multi-tool to cut the nails. Cut the nails as close to this top part as possible. You don't want to leave any pieces of nail in it. It will get in your way later. You won't be able to cut all the nails, but you'll get more than half. I got the jamb out by moving it around back and forth. You should have better access to remove any remaining nails left on the top part of the jamb. Remove them. Now we can get a better measurement. They're all different. Here's a new jamb. They sell a right and left side. Get the size you need and cut the end without the notch. Cut it from the back side, then set it in place. With 1.5" nails or 2" nails, nail it to the top part. With the new jamb attached to the top, prep the floor to put back the threshold. If you don't have a setup like this, you can skip to the next part of the video, or you can watch it in case you come across this issue. Dig out all the rotted wood and clean it out. Measure for a pressure treated piece of wood to go back in here. Chip some of it out if you have to. Because you never know how thick this has to be, I'll cut it out of a pressure treated 2x4. Put it in. Once it's in place, use 3" tap cons to screw it down. Putting the screw straight was not gripping, so the next option that worked is putting the screw in on an angle. Now put the threshold back. Mark around it. Remove it. Clean the area with a wet rag to remove any dirt. You can use caulk or silicone. I'm going to use this concrete caulk for this. Set the threshold back in place, then screw it down. Put caulk around it too. That's it for the threshold. Now butt your jamb up against the threshold and close the door to check the gap. You want a gap about this size here, no more than 1/4 inch. If it's hidden like it is here on the top, just tap it to push it back. You can fill the gap with caulk later. When the gap looks good, put shims behind the jamb to keep it in that position. Use cedar or plastic shims. Put the fat end in first, even if you have to cut it. Then put in another with the skinny end going in this time, on top of the first shim. Once it feels snug, check the gap again by closing the door. If it's hitting, back out the shim some. If the gap is good, shoot 1" nails through the jamb to hold them in place. Do this a couple more times down the jamb. With the shim in place, now put tap cons in the jamb where the shims are. If you're not going into block, you shouldn't have to use a hammer drill. You'll just have to pre-drill and countersink your holes. Here's the countersink bit. Countersink the holes. For the thin side of the jamb, use 2 1/4 screws. For the thicker side, use 3 1/4. After the screws are in, cut the excess shims out. You can also use a multi-tool for this. Check the door again. Still good. Now it's time to put the hole in for the locks. Close the door and put a mark on the jamb in the center of the deadbolt and the back set. Then use a speed square to finish marking where the holes need to be. It should be 7/8 from the edge of the door jamb. Put a mark. Now use a 1" paddle bit to make the holes. For the striker place, position it in the middle of the hole and mark it out. Pre-drill the screw holes. Do not skip this step. The door jamb could break on you. With a utility knife, score the lines you just made. Then use a chisel to chisel out the wood. Screw on the striker plates. Now check that the door latches and locks properly. It's good. But the deadbolt did not insert all the way in. I did not hear it click, and that means it can be jimmied open. Finish removing the wood in here to fix that. And now it's time to put the door casing. Use whatever style you need, clam or colonial. I like to cut the 45 first, then cut it to length. Attach it to the jamb with 1-inch nails, longer if you have wood frame. Put one nail in the corner up top. Caulk around the door casing. Put spackle in all the screw and nail holes. For the weather strip, don't just put it in like this. Use 10 snips to cut an angle in it like this. This will make a better seal. Insert it into the slot of the jamb. When you get to the bottom, use something to push it into the corner. That will let you know where you need to cut it. Cut it with the 10 snips. Close the door and check to make sure you don't see light. This looks good. Also check to see if it still locks. This came out good. For the door, I'm just going to spackle the holes. Okay, so if you have a small amount of light at the bottom of the door, sometimes you can't avoid that. But to fix this, use one of these. It's a bottom door seal. You peel the backing off and stick it on like this. See? Fixed. Now finish caulking around the jamb and you're done. This is how it turned out. If this helped, hit the like, bell, and subscribe button for me. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.